I'm so glad to be here today. Today's another Tuesday for one of my core teachings. And for those who are new to this my channel, my name is Josephine. I am your professor, the digital professor for languages. Tuesdays, I teach on a core course from philosophy of religion, theology, and religion. On Fridays, I talk on germane, trading, or contemporary issues that are beneficial to our lives. Today's a Tuesday, and I'm continuing with African Metaphysics. In fact, today is going to be an interesting one because I'm talking on an issue that causes a kind of trepidation for our people when people hear about witchcraft. They're afraid. We talk about witches, we talk about wizards. We think they have powers to undo or to do wickedness. And when we talk about magic, I know a lot of people, they love magic, as a lot of people love miracles. But the difference is clear. God is the source of miracles, while Satan is the source of magic. Anyway, in African metaphysics, what do they say about witchcraft? What do they say about magic? That is what I'm teaching on today. So before I go into my core course teaching, let's join languages. Thank you. As I was saying, today's teachings is on witchcraft and metaphysics from the African metaphysical perspectives. And you know, I love to share PowerPoint presentation because as a teacher, when I was in the classroom, I used to have PowerPoint for my students to follow me. The same thing is what I do in my online teaching. So I share PowerPoint presentation for people to follow me as I teach along. So, presentation. African Metaphysics 4. Because I've been talking on African Metaphysics, I've taught on the dimensions of African Metaphysics, and I've taught on some other aspects of African Metaphysics. Today is the fourth one, which I'm talking about witchcraft and magic. According to Opaleke, in 2012, witchcraft is both a religion and a craft. It consists of magic, sorcery, augury, divination, necromancy, fortune-telling, clairvoyancy, etc. Ofiong in 1991 avows that it is a psychic act through which socially disapproved supernatural techniques influence events. It is also described as psychic and supernatural because, as Nadal observes in 1952, their activities take place in a fantasy realm, which is intangible and beyond empirical verification. That is why at times, sometimes people cannot verify witchcraft activities or magic because it's supernatural. And if you're looking for empirical standard to be able to get it right, you might miss it. So how does a person become a witch? I don't know. I don't know who is interested in becoming a witch. In Africa, when witches are known, they are stoned in some places. They stone them to death because they believe that their wickedness kills people. They cause a lot of tribulations in the lives of people. So how does a person become a witch? Arasu in 2003, insinuates that a person becomes a witch by eating a witchcraft substance, and that once it is eaten, the witch compulsively engages in astral travel with the mission to destroy. Hello. That means some people even are witches without their knowledge. Maybe their trust in some relatives, their trust in some friends who they are not have any information prior to that are witches or they practice witchcraft. If they give them something to eat, in some African countries, they believe mostly they give them maybe kola nut. It might not be kola nut, it might be basil cola, it might be anything. It might be egg, it might be anything that once a witch gives you something and you eat it, when you sleep, you just find yourself transported astral travel to where they're having their meetings. So one can be a witch by marrying from a family of witches, or when a person is given birth to by a witch, that mother or that father who's a wizard can ensure that child becomes a witch by dedicating even that child to witchcraft in the witches' coven. They have the sole mission of propagating evil. And when they die, they become evil spirits. That's the African metaphysical perspectives on witches and witchcraft. Witches can infest another person with disease beyond cure and eat a person's soul. In fact, in some African people, they think they eat human flesh. They distribute. You might still be alive physically, but in the spiritual realm, in their meeting, they probably have divided that person. They've given the parts of that person to other witches to eat. They eat other people's soul. They can send flies or other insects to cause disease in their victim. Once the fly perches on that person, the effect manifests. They can dig holes and bury things that when matched by the victim will be infected by a dangerous disease. They can send hairs, nails, pins, etc. into the body of their victims, which will bring about ill health. At night, their spirits can leave them to go and bite their victim or cause them harm. And that's why they can turn into balls of types of birds that they fly about. They enter into like cats, even dogs, but mostly some cats are associated with witchcraft. Some of them can turn into animals, like even a lion at night. They can turn into snakes at night to visit their enemies. They can turn into goats, into pigs, to destroy an enemy's farm at the heart of jealousy or envy or tension between neighbors and family members. Witchcraft thus becomes a way to revenge or humiliate the other person who has been tagged as the enemy. They spread evil spirits, create disharmony, and propagate immorality among people. Witchcraft is not known with anything good. Witches and wizards are known as wicked human kinds that destroy, that maim, they cause accidents on the road. And when that person doesn't even die immediately, they can go physically or spiritually to that person and take away the person's soul so that they kill and maim others. A witch cannot denounce being a witch. It is not learned or gained by being possessed by a particular spirit. It's a way of life to them. It would therefore mean that a witch cannot be exorcised because it is not a case of possession. It's not like, oh, an evil spirit has possessed somebody. We want to exorcise that evil spirit outside that person. They gladly mortgage their souls to the evil one, to Satan, to become a witch. So it would therefore mean that a witch cannot be exercised because it's not a case of possession. And they sometimes act even without knowing that they're acting or controlling their actions. Wickedness is part of witchcraft. And according to Arasu in 2003, witches observe some rudiments in their daily life, like austerity, keeping away from the usual lifestyle, and observing the ritual of their cult. They employ the instrument of divination for the carrying out of their purposes. They possess the ability to see the divine through crystal ball gazing into the pool, into mirror, etc. We know some witches, they put mirrors in their wardrobe, in their homes, in their bedroom, where they look at others. You never know in your everyday life what you are doing. They are seeing you, even if you are miles far apart from where they are. From the evil mirror, they can view you and be able to cast their witchcraft upon you. So this thing they do. Divination is therefore a very fundamental part of witchcraft. Ofiong in 1991 defined magic. And before I go down to magic proper, let me finish about this witchcraft. Yeah, witchcraft, they think they have the power. They can do and undo. But believers have greater power in them, because the power of Christ in the believers is far, far greater than that in the witches. And that is one of the times when witchcraft, when you are being bothered, an enemy is using witchcraft upon you, and you are still going to those who are you in evil cults to help you. They are the same. There's no way. They might be successfully to help you, or they can just replace that disease with another for you. Ofiong in 1991 defined magic as those supernatural devices employed by man to achieve his end with the help of spirits and gods. I said initially that Satan is the source of magic. It's like the opposite of a miracle, which God is the source of miracle. Magic involves an attempt by man through the aid of the gods or spirits to tap and control the supernatural resources of the universe for his benefit. And these powers could be manipulated for good and bad ends through the rituals of prayers, worship, and sacrifices, among others. When it is directed towards a good end, it can be used to cure a sick person, foresee the future for that person. And that's why when they use magic to foresee your future, you are going. That's why the Bible clearly admonishes that Christians, believers, should not patronize sorcerers, diviners, because they use magic to foresee the future for you. However, when it is directed toward a bad end, it can be used to kill a rival, turn a suitor away, crumble a person's business, make rain even fall. I remember this years ago. I had this very good friend, a very, very close friend of mine, when the father died, and we were doing the final burial rites. Some of these, they call themselves rain makers or whatever. They came around, they wanted money so that they can hold on to rain, so that it will not spoil the party we are having after the burial of the deceased. The children were saying, what do you mean? Holding rain for us? I mean, you don't have to do it. They said, okay. Somebody said, let's give them something, Daddy. So they gave them something, but not what they were demanding. So they were not satisfied. As the parties were on like this, with the canopies and everything, everybody ready for the party, the musicians, everybody, the band were playing, this rain started. I've not seen this type of rain before. Everybody ran scatter. The whole place was scattered. Everybody had to run here to scatter. The rain was so massive. And we know it's an unusual rain because it was just around that party area that it was pouring. So they can use their magic to make rain fall. Objects such as charms, amulets, and concoctions are used in whichever case. There's also a significant dependence on incantations, deep breathing, fasting, the reliance on prayers, fasting, worship, sacrifices, etc. They do it like the Christian kind of worship. They do that kind of thing, but in the opposite and anti-clockwise ways, which brings a strong connection between magic and religion. It is a religion of Islam, what we call occultic religion or satanic religion or devilish religion. However, magic differs from religion in that its operation instrument is manipulation rather than supplication without any address to the Supreme Being. In a spirit of submission and appeal, when you pray or worship the Supreme Being, the creator of heaven and earth, you do it in submission and appeal. That's supplication. But the instrument of magic is manipulation. It is not emotional and operates on a professional client relationship. Just like in the case of divination, magic is a crucial practice in witchcraft. That's why magic is intertwined with witchcraft. I'm going to end up here now. There are more to say, but this is like a broad view of what African Metaphysics thinks about witchcraft and magic. You can see that magic is like a tool of witchcraft. And you can see what those who practice witchcraft, either they are called witches or called wizards or whatever they call themselves, the kind of things they do. So one has to beware. If you're not sure of that friend you are following, just do not take anything to eat from such a person, because unknowingly you might be initiated into witchcraft. May God Almighty help all of us. But the best thing is to ensure you are God compliance. And when you are truly God compliance, in faith, in belief, in union or supplication, submission to God, no witchcraft can affect you. Thank you. Join me next Tuesday for another teaching on African Metaphysics. And then Friday, please join me for another Friday tonic. I thank you all for joining me today.